Everyone, welcome to Divine is Inside. My name is Jeremy Peters. I'm the host, creator, whatever you want to call it. So this is a new YouTube channel, be on social media as well, but primarily on YouTube. So what I'm going to be talking about a lot on here is spirituality, but not like in the religious sense, much more in the kind of the personal growth space, raising your vibration. I'm somebody who has long believed that most religions sell what the universe is willing to give you for free if you just know how to listen. We'll also be talking a little bit about narcissism, how to deal with it. I've dealt with a lot of narcissism in my life, and so I have a lot of strategies, a lot of insights on that. I'm not licensed, but I've just going to be talking mostly about my personal experiences and my strategies for how I deal with narcissistic behavior. So that's going to be the kind of the gist of the channel. And I feel like it was important because, so I'm not somebody who, a year ago, if you told me I was going to be doing a spirituality channel on YouTube, I think I would have told you you were nuts. But this last year has been interesting. And I'll be talking about that in future videos, but I came under some spiritual attack, and I allowed that to fuel my growth, to fuel my awakening. And now I'm being called to do this, to share some of my insights. Because as I looked on YouTube, I was a little skeptical at first. I looked on YouTube to see what was out there already. There's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge. I mean, there's people who could probably give a 3-hour TED talk on crystals or on astrology or on the Bible. And maybe that resonates with some people. And obviously does. But I'm guessing there's other people out there who maybe just need a different voice. And so that's, I'm in my mid-50s. I think I'm a little bit older than most of the people who are doing this. A lot of them are women. So, it's just, I think everyone's got their own pathway to finding God, to finding their own spirituality. And, there's a lot of, stops on the way, a lot of voices that you can hear, that you can learn from. And I feel like mine is somewhat unique in this space. I've been around the block, half a century's worth. I've worn a lot of different hats. I drove a tank in the first Gulf War. So I didn't really come at this from a place of growing up with this. I really came to it. I took the long way. I was in sales for a lot of years and wasn't very spiritual. But over time, I'd started to get into energy work a little bit, becoming curious about that. And I never really didn't believe in God or, a higher power. It was just, I just didn't really subscribe to religions. And I still don't. But again, if that's your pathway, great. I think it's just, you need to take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and not follow somebody else's program. You know what I mean? Not just take somebody else's word for it. You need to find your own way, because God is inside of each of us. He speaks to us differently. Everyone's got their own unique path, their own unique voice. And that's what this channel is about, is that's why it's Divine is Inside, is because I really do believe that God is in all of us, and we just have to figure out a way to hear him properly. And that's different for each of us. So everyone's formula is going to be a little bit different. And, the voices that resonate with some people won't resonate with others. Some people may think, oh, this is exactly what I needed. And other people will think, well, who's this old quack? That's fine. But that's why when I was called to do this, I was a little skeptical at first, but I finally realized that, this is something I do need to do, because I do have a unique story. I do have a unique path. I was a teacher for the last 10 years or so. I was a stay-at-home dad for a few years, and now my daughter's getting ready to graduate from high school. So I've done a lot of teaching. I've done a lot of talking about, ideas of how we live and how we grow and all of those things. And I felt like that was a voice that was not really well represented here on YouTube. That I could add to that conversation. And again, it's I'm not telling you to follow my program. When I give some examples of how I went through things, it's not so that you can do that exactly the same way. It's just so you can see how I did it and then apply it to your own circumstances. So, in future videos, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my spiritual awakening, how I came under spiritual attack and how that fueled that, how I learned some lessons from that. The next video I'll be doing will be dealing with karma, and how karma, is really a lesson that teaches us about the ways that we failed in the past, the things that we've done wrong, whether it be a mistake or just, shitty behavior. And how we apply that lesson to ourselves, how we do that shadow work, how you grow from the mistakes you've made in the past and don't repeat them, but become a better person. So that's going to be the next video. And then on from there, like I said, I'll be talking a lot about narcissism and how you deal with narcissistic abuse behavior. So it's just going to be a real mix. But that's who I am. That's why I'm doing this. And I thought it important to come on here and just kind of introduce myself, explain the channel, and invite you, if this sounds like something that could be of help to you, to give a subscribe, to give a follow, and join me on this journey. So anyway, that's it for today. More videos come soon. The karma will be out in the next 3 days, and we'll just keep going from there. And I hope this helps you on your journey to growth, to find your way to God, to raise your vibration, because we really need to. We need to start getting out of these low vibration energies of ego and envy and greed, and start getting into some of the higher vibration stuff of love and community and personal growth and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm here for. And if that sounds good to you, then give a subscribe and follow along. And anyway, thanks for listening, and hope you'll keep following. And like I said, the karma video will be out in a few days, and we'll just keep going from there. So all right, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Bye.